The wait is over. The first of two Marvel DC crossover one shots is finally here. I've gotten a chance to read it. We're going to do a little bit of non spoiler. We'll go deep into spoilers for every one of the stories, reveal a big surprise, and of course, take a look at all the covers because this one has so many that I have no idea how we'll be able to pick them all up on Comic Book Day. So stay tuned because we're talking about all that in this video. Hello everyone, Dane here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we'll be doing a review for Deadpool Batman #1. In over 20 years, we have not had a Marvel DC crossover for the first time in decades, and they have picked two of the most popular characters. But do not be alarmed, there are plenty of backup stories. So we're going to get into all that. I'll go through each one of the stories. But first, before we get into any big spoilers, because I think this book needs to be experienced in a spoiler free way to really have fun. Each of the stories is a lot of fun. I think the main story itself, which we'll talk about the creative team in a second, they just really nail every aspect of it. Zeb Wells, who is the writer, does such a good job, not only writing Batman, but also Deadpool brings a lot of levity. I really did not think that Deadpool was going to be the correct character to play alongside with Batman. But the way that this is told, the way that this story is done, it really works. And then, of course, having the great Greg Capullo come back to do some Batman work. It's something I've been waiting on for years. It's really cool. Obviously, he's right now locked in over at Marvel, but this is such a great idea to bring back one of, I think, Batman's most well-known artists back into the fold to see him draw not only the Dark Knight but some of the other characters that really make this stand out. We also have a few other crossovers like Daredevil and Green Arrow, Captain America and Wonder Woman. We have the Land Shark Jeff teaming up with Crypto the Superdog, and of course Rocket Raccoon teaming up with the Green Lantern. So a lot of really fun stories. We'll get into each one of those details. I'll get into the creative team for all that stuff. But let me just tell you, this book is worth the price of admission at only $7 for something that I really would have thought they could have priced this higher and people would have been all about it. Maybe some of the incentive covers will definitely be harder to get, but you get 64 pages of story. The main story is about the size of a regular story, and then you get a few backup stories, 6 to 8 pages, and then a couple of surprises all the way towards the back. So we'll talk about all that. There's stuff that I've been finding out about as we kind of go into this book. So we're gonna get into spoilers now. If you have not read this book, make sure to go pick it up, come back and finish the rest of the video. There'll be time codes in the description of the video so you can skip around if you want to go straight to me looking at the variant covers for this. All right, so we're gonna get started. First of all, The Dead of Night. This is the main story for Deadpool and Batman, written by Zeb Wells, with art by Greg Capullo, Tim Towson on inks, colors by Alex Sinclair, letters by Clayton Cowles. This story takes place in Gotham after Deadpool, the Merc with the Mouth, is sent to take out Batman. So somebody's hired him to take Batman out. He stops by the Bruce Wayne mansion because it's always good to maybe threaten a billionaire, maybe extort him out of a little money. So Deadpool actually brings a lot of really fun levity to this, which I really thought they were going to be an odd pairing, but it really works. Like the comic is really funny. I laughed out loud multiple times while I was reading this. They do some very meta jokes because, of course, Deadpool's there, but I think it all really plays very well against the stoic Batman. There's a really nice, fun mystery that unfolds. So we do find out that the Joker was the one that hired Deadpool, and Batman has been playing along, stringing on Deadpool really to complete his mission in order to be taken back to the Joker because he's planning to, use some of the Joker venom on all of Gotham City. So it's really well done. It's a really fun story. I think that out of the book, like, and of course, every story here might have a little bit of a follow up or at least we know that these characters will meet again in the counterpart from DC Marvel, the Batman Deadpool one shot later on this year. So yeah, highly recommend you check this out. It was a really fun story. Now, let's get to some of the backup stories. The first crossover is Captain America and Wonder Woman in The Gun and the Sword, written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Terry Dodson, inks by Rachel Dodson, and letters by Joe Caramagna. Terry Dodson colors his own stuff. Uh, I did not realize how much I enjoy seeing both of these characters together. Chip Zdarsky writes this universe as if Marvel and DC have always been like one thing, which is really cool. You get to see some of the classic scenes, including like Superman with Supergirl's dead body, but then you'll see Marvel characters in the background like Hulk and Storm. So you get to see some of those little details. Definitely a lot of a reward for longtime readers, but the dynamic between Captain America and Wonder Woman just really works. They are two characters that overall are kind of like the beacons of justice um, in their individual universes. So having them kind of save each other multiple times throughout their careers is really fun. So I really enjoyed this one. Like it really makes me. I was talking to somebody after I read this, and I was like, "Oh man, really makes me kind of want to ship Wonder Woman and Captain America." So hopefully we'll get to see these again too, and these two again in the future. Then we have Jeff and Crypto in Catch. This is written by Kelly Thompson with art by Gurihiro, letters by Joe Caramagna. This is just a fun story. Is pretty much wordless, textless. There's not a lot of conversation, but it's just a fun game of catch between Jeff and Crypto that ends in just like one of the most endearing ways as they kind of part ways and they high five each other. So very very cool stuff. Guru Hero's art just fits perfectly for the aesthetic that we're looking for here. So that really works. So next we have the Red and the Green. This is the Daredevil and Green Arrow story written by Kevin Smith. That Kevin Smith, the one that has worked on both of these characters, with Adam Kubert on art, Frank Martin on colors, letters by Joe Caramagna. I think the standout of the story is something that Kevin Smith is really good at, and that is just dropping like little hints, little Easter eggs, little homages to like some of the really cool lore that he himself has worked on in these characters, or just that other creators have worked on. This is just a really all out brawl, taking out bad guys as they kind of move through Hell's Kitchen, but it also ends in a really fun way where Count Vertigo shows up and he's trying to take out Daredevil because his powers mess up pretty much the radar, and then eventually Green Arrow shoots him with one of the arrows with the boxing glove, and it turns out that boxing glove that he got was from battling Jack Murdoch. So it's all connected. It's all very cool. Really, really fun stuff. Next, we have Rocket Raccoon and Green Lantern. In Rocket has a Green Lantern ring. That guy just really has anything that he can get his hands on, huh? This is written by Al Ewing, with art by DK Juan Moreno Dinicio, on colors, letters by Joe Caramagna. This is probably one of the more straightforward stories. This really is all about Rocket Raccoon is now enlisted into the Green Lantern Corps, and he does not work very well as a Green Lantern, because although he does have the willpower and is courageous, he has tendencies that are a little bit more violent than the Guardians would like. So yeah, this is just a really fun, really goofy story. So I really enjoyed it. Next, the last story. It's only about 3 pages, but we do have Old Man Logan and Batman from The Dark Knight Returns in Showdown, written, penciled, and inked by Frank Miller, with colors by Alex Sinclair, letters by Joe Caramagna. This one felt like almost as a like Frank Miller is almost doing a little bit of a parody of his own work, because although it seems super pretty edgy, like it actually ends up being kind of funny with these two old grumpy guys kind of fighting each other. So, and I think Frank Miller has a very distinct art style. It may not be up to everyone's alley. I just thought it was really interesting that after so long, he's worked on like two characters that, like Old Man Logan. It's very heavily inspired by the idea of the Dark Knight Returns, right? Although in a way different direction that it went. Like just seeing a superhero later on in his career, like that's still kind of the same concept. So really fun to see Frank Miller work on this stuff. Frank Miller also has a cover. We'll take a look at it later. And then the big surprise, now this is the big spoiler, so if you don't want to see this, like if you haven't read the book, I really recommend you check this out after you come back from reading the book. We have the Enter Logo story featuring Logo. Who is Logo? Logo is the amalgam version of Logan the Wolverine and the Lobo. This is written by Ryan North with art by Ryan Stegman, Frank Martin on colors, letters by Joe Caramagna. This was a surprise to me. I had not heard anything about this. Um, I think that the design of logo is really fun because, of course, Logan has that aesthetic already of being like a kind of like a badass, and Ryan North does such a good job kind of weaving in so many Easter eggs. You know, this is drawn by Ryan Stegman, who is like the perfect artist for something that's so cool and edgy like this. So yeah, I really thought this was a really fun surprise. Whenever he has his own sound effect is like fragging snicked. He rides around in the what do they call it, the Thanos dark side copter, like his new chopper, which is also a combination of Thanos and dark side's I guess they're rides, right? But like I said, a lot of really funny jokes. I didn't realize how much fun the people working on this were gonna have. I thought they would be like very serious about it and like treat this as very reverent, but no, I love that they just kind of went with more lighthearted stuff, lighthearted stories, because in the end it really reflects how much fun all these characters can be. So there you have it. That's been all the stories in the Deadpool Batman #1. Um, I don't have a favorite story. I really enjoyed all of them. I mean, of course, the Deadpool Batman one is the longest one, so I think that had the most time to flesh out. But I would love to see and continue seeing some of these stories. As a matter of fact, I think if Marvel and DC chose to do this like once a year, they could do it for a few years without this feeling stale. And then if at any point it does feel stale, they can just really just take a break and then put it in ice for a little few years again. So I think people love crossovers, and it's a lot more fun when you get to see like all these discussions that you would normally just have with your friends, at a bar or like when you're hanging out about like who would win in a fight between Hulk and Superman and stuff like that. It was weird that maybe DC had a thing about don't use Superman. Maybe there was a few characters that might have been a little bit off limits. I'm not really sure. I expect to see Superman in the other one though. So we'll see. And then we'll see which of the characters Marvel allows DC to play with when we get the other one shot, the Batman Deadpool, later on this year. So let's go take a look at the covers and then we'll close out this video. All right, here are all the covers that you can get at somehow, some way. I don't really know the ratios. We'll try to take a look as we kind of go through here. These are all on League of Comic Geeks, which is one of the sources that I use to organize my pull list, check out what's coming up next, and get a lot of information, which I talk about with you guys on these videos. So, of course, we have the main cover by Greg Capullo, the Batman Deadpool. This is just the main cover. We have this really cool. So this is a 1 in 100 art germ variant with Catwoman and Magic. I think this is a 1 in 100 because it doesn't have a trade dress. This is just a blank virgin cover. But I'm sure you can get the other one. This is a 1 in 2000 Greg Capullo sketch virgin tradeless variant. So this one's going to be very difficult to get. But it's really kind of cool to see the pencils of this. Next, we have Steve McNiven, who I don't know that he's worked much on Batman or that he's illustrated Batman a lot. So I really like this. I'm glad to see a cover like this. This is a 1 in 25. So this one could be on a $10 to $20 range, depending on your shop and how many covers they picked up. We have the Frank Miller 1 in 50 with Batman from the Dark Knight and of course Old Man Logan. Uh, Really, this is the team up that he writes in this book. So very interesting that he got to do his cover as well. We have a second printing cover. So this is already going to second print, 1 in 25, Mark Bagley without the trade dress. So some of these may repeat if they put the trade dress on them. As you can see, this one, second printing, 1 in 50, Miller, but this is a virgin cover. Looks like we have one that's not uploaded yet. This is an exclusive to 616 Comics, which is very cool. The Patrick Gleason, and then another Patrick Gleason just with different trade dress. So you can see here, this is the trade list, and then with the trade dress here, really cool because the Joker does feature in the main story with Batman and Deadpool. So all right, we have this is the Bedrock City exclusive by Laniel Francis Yu with the Black Panther and Catwoman. I love that this cover just tells you so much of a story. Like, oh yeah, Catwoman stole something from Wakanda, so now the Black Panther's got to get it back. The Punisher and Lobo, one of my favorite ones. This one's from Big Time Collectibles, Alessandro Capuccio. Uh, just a fantastic cover. Oh, Alessandro Capuccio and Mattia Iacono. So both of them working on this. This one's probably one of my favorites. I don't normally go out and buy retailer exclusives, but this one is one that I might get. And then here we have it with the trade dress. Of course, the blank variant, which you can get a little sketch on from from artists at different conventions. Daniel Warren Johnson with the Thing fighting against Big Barda. This is just a regular variant, so hopefully I can pick this up at my local shop. Then we have the Sad Ribic. This is just Batman and Deadpool. This also appears to be just a regular variant. This is the extended Greg Capullo wraparound. So actually, there's you might see we might see it in a little bit coming up, but this is actually Batman and Deadpool on the other side. Just sometimes the website doesn't show both sides. This is the Gurihiro who illustrated the Jeff and Crypto story, so they get their own cover as well. The Insignia mashup, which they've been doing a lot of these Insignia variant covers. J. Scott Campbell, of course, drawing Psylocke and Huntress, both in purple. Very cool aesthetic here. I don't know if that's the best way to defend against Bo staff, but here we are. And then, of course, this is just Marco Cicchetto doing some amazing work. He revealed this a little while back on socials, Daredevil and Green Arrow. This also appears to be just a regular variant. Mark Bagley will be also having a foil variant, which we already saw this. Green for Midtown Comics by Ed McGuinness with the Hulk and Green Lantern. Peach Momoko, which this also appears to be just a regular variant, so hopefully I can pick this up. Batgirl and Elektra. Oh, Rogue and Poison Ivy by Pepe Larraz. Very cool. It's really cool because you get to see a lot of the artists that are more Marvel exclusive do DC characters, so that's a lot of fun. I'm sure they had a great time with this as well. Russell Dodderman with the homage variant to the Infinity Gauntlet. But also, like the Joker looks a little bit like the Batman the Animated Series Joker. And then I wonder why Rocket Raccoon's in the same panel as Green Arrow. Maybe they were thinking of teaming them up first, and they changed their mind because he should really be down here with the Green Lantern. Um, this is the Ryan Stegman homage variant as well to the Wolverine cover. Very cool. After Todd McFarlane, and then Scotty Young delivering some like a heater. This one's so cool. I've seen this one in person. I caught somebody at the shop organizing stuff for tomorrow, and I just got a peek. And then another Scotty Young. This is for his web store, which is Logan and Lobo, which make up that surprise at the end of the book. And then here we see once again the Archer variant. This one looks to be the regular. This one won't be the ratio cover that we saw earlier. As you can see, it's got the trade dress. Terry Dodson doing the Captain America Wonder Woman. Loki and Harley Quinn for Unknown Comics by Greg Land. And then one without the trade dress. And then here we are back to the main cover. So that's all the covers. That was a lot of fun. This video has been very long, so let's wrap it up. All right. So if you picked up this book, let me know. What did you think of this book? What did you think of the stories? Which one was your favorite? As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye. Marvel Zombies are back and they are hungry. Let's talk about it in this video. Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Marvel Zombies Red Band #1. This is a new book from Marvel Comics. This is written by Ethan Parker and Griffin Sheridan with art by Jan Bazaldua. Eric Arcienega on colors, letters by Travis Lanham. We'll look at all the covers we have for this one. What a way to bring back Marvel Zombies just as we are on the precipice of the new Marvel Zombies animated series. I'm very excited to read this book. I'm very excited to follow this series, not only because of the creative team, but also because I love the world of the Marvel Zombies. And this just feels like a really cool comic book. So this is a red band comic book, so unfortunately, you can only read this physically as of right now. As far as I know, I've looked online. I don't know where you get these digitally, so you'll have to go to your shop, pick this up, or maybe wait until the collection is completed. Now, if you enjoy the work of Ethan Parker and Griffin Sheridan, they also have two other books coming out at the same time as Marvel Zombies. Blink and You'll Miss It, issue #2 from Boom Studios, and also from IDW, Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone #2. Both of those are great. We have reviews for the first issue of those series in the channel. Make sure to go check it out. But in this issue, the dead rise again for the first time. It was the most important space flight in the history of the Marvel Universe. Four intrepid heroes took off into the unknown and returned changed, gifted with great abilities and a hungering for human flesh. Travel back to the birth of a Marvel Universe parallel to our own but chock full of horror since its very inception. Which heroes will rise and become champions of what we know and love? Which will be torn limb from limb? And which will devour the scraps? Find out in this new blood soaked series. So, yeah, there's a reason why this is a red band book because there's a lot of violence in it. Um, I really love this approach, and I don't know how the pitch came about. Right, I think it's a very interesting idea of like, let's go back to the origin of like the early Marvel with Fantastic Four, and have them twist everything, have them be the first zombies, and that's what the book does. Now, Jan Bazaldua does not pull any punches when it comes to some of the killing, some of the designs, and just going all out on the gore. It's really cool stuff. Like if you are a fan of Marvel Zombies, this is gonna be right up your alley. I think both Parker and Sheridan do such a good job at throwing in so many little Easter eggs, so many little things. Every page you turn, because these writers are long-term Marvel fans. I mean, we've had them on the podcast here. They are long-time Marvel fans, so they know the history of these characters, and they know that it's always fun to kind of throw in little nods, little twists, and little reminders of each of the characters. So it's very very cool stuff. I think the idea that some of these zombies have those powers, but also they have now the sentient, like they are sentient beings, right? They are not just out for the hunger. Like we have Reed Richards, one of the smartest men in the universe, now turned into a zombie, trying to figure out how to make more zombies and how to get everybody on board with him. And then the powerful, Sue Storm, the Thing, Johnny Storm, like their powers are all still working. So very interesting stuff. But what really took this over the edge, and this is a spoiler, so I won't go into it. The last few pages give you even one more like a really interesting question, which leads me to theorize what might be happening in the upcoming issues. But it's still, I'm very excited to see how this plays out. So really really enjoy this book. I like all the stuff that these guys write. They really appeal to the type of stories that I like to follow. So that's always fun when you kind of connect with creators on that level of like, oh yeah, these guys are writing stuff I like. So very cool stuff. Very very gritty, very dark, very gruesome art. Some really heartbreaking moments. No one is safe. You get to see a lot of really cool heroes like the Hulk, Iron Man, Spider Man, of course, the Fantastic Four in here. Daredevil shows up in his classic yellow outfit. So I'm still waiting to see who else might show up. And then, like I mentioned, big surprise towards the end. So let's go take a look at some of the covers because Marvel Zombies is going all out, especially because, like I mentioned, the upcoming series is really close to premiering on Disney Plus. So let's go check out the covers and then we'll wrap up this video. Alrighty, here we have the main cover by Greg Land. Then we have this cover here by Clan Crane. Now, this is the textless Virgin variant. That's the same cover I picked up. It just mine has the trade dress. So this is just a regular variant, whereas this is a 1 in 100 variant. We have this Marvel Zombies variant by Ryan Brown. Oh man, this one's really gory. Ryan Brown doing some amazing, amazing work. We also have this second printing variant with the title change. As you can see, the colors have shifted, and then some more second printing stuff. Ryan Brown, and then Clayton Crane. This is the cover I picked up. And then we have this Ivan Sharvin Hulk zombie variant. And then, of course, the nod to the Marvel Zombies coming soon to Disney Plus. We saw this zombie Thanos in the trailer. So the Marvel animation variant also very cool. And then this throwback Red Band Scott Koblish retro zombie variant. I like this one as well a lot. This one actually shows off a lot of the characters that are in the book, or at least in this first issue. Not everyone, but a lot of them are here. I love the retro title as well. It's very cool. So yeah, a lot of really cool covers. I ended up picking the one that I did just because I love Clayton Crane's work. But let's go ahead and wrap up this video. So if you read Marvel Zombies #1, let me know what you thought about it. Let me know which cover you ended picking up. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions. We're covering some of the Red Band titles, so if you can't get to read them, you can at least know if they're worth hunting down. Stay tuned. Let me know what you're picking up for the week in the comments. What is your favorite book that you're picking up or currently reading? And as always, thank you for watching. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye. Your favorite Star Wars bounty hunter gets the black, white, and red treatment, and we're going to talk about that in this video. Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we're doing a review for Star Wars Boba Fett Black, White, and Red #1. This is a new book from Marvel Comics, part of their Black, White, and Red. Sometimes Black, White, and Blood. They don't do that for the Star Wars properties, but they do. They do call them Black, White, and Red. This is a Boba Fett story written by Benjamin Percy with art by Chris Allen, inks by Chris Allen and Craig Young, Rachel Rosenberg on colors, which is a lot of red, but a lot of red in very interesting places, and Joe Caramagna on letters. Well, we'll take a look at some of the covers, later on in the video. So, in this book, Boba Fett finds himself trapped in a situation he seemingly can't get out of. The impossible job. The Empire and an extreme rebel faction are after the same bounty. Fett needs to track down a deadly individual who has played both sides, and to make things even more impossible, his target is hiding out in a volatile volcanic system. What better place, what better environment to really add the red part of this black and white story than a volcanic planet? Very, very cool. Let me start with saying that doing being a colorist on a book like this, I feel is actually a lot more difficult. So Rachel Rosenberg really knocks it out of the park, because you could just do everything in different shades of red, but that would feel weird, I think. Instead, the colorist finds such a way to just highlight the important stuff. Sometimes the backgrounds are red, sometimes some of the stuff in the foreground is red. So yeah, it's really cool. Now, Chris Allen does such a good job portraying the bounty hunter Boba Fett, just doing really cool and badass stuff, which is how we love to see him. And then Benjamin Percy, just he's so good at like telling these really cool, fun action stories. It really works. So I'm very excited to see where we go from here with this. If is this going to be something that Marvel kind of continues on, or is this something that they'll just do little different stories? So it'll be fun to see kind of where we go from here. It looks like this is a one and done story. The next issue does have a different team. So yeah, I love these little standalone stories that you can just really enjoy. So pick this up. It's really fun. It's like really cool anthology stuff. And then, like I said, it looks very, very cool. So, all right, let's go take a look at some of the. Let's go take a look at some of the covers, and then we'll wrap up this video. First off, we don't have a lot of covers, but we do have this main cover by Alex Maleev. I love how it already emphasizes the black, white, and red of it all. Very cool. Next, we have this 1 in 100, Carrie Andrews. This is a tradeless virgin cover. So there might be one that does have the traders that is not, that it's a smaller ratio. That might be easier to pick up, but it's very, very cool. Laniel Francis Yu doing a 1 in 25 ratio for this. Very cool. Once again, sticking to the color palette. We have Jose Maria Casanovas variant. This seems to be just a regular variant. I don't see a ratio on this, but it's also very cool. This might be the guy we're all looking for in the story. This is the Carrie Andrews regular variant with the trade dress and everything. And then we are back to the main cover. So let's wrap this up. If you have picked this up, let me know what you thought about Boba Fett Black, White, and Red #1. Let me know what other Star Wars characters should get this treatment. We've seen some stuff from Darth Vader, Darth Maul. Really, a lot of the villains get this because the red really works with their aesthetic. But yeah, let me know what other Star Wars characters they should do. They've done this for Predator, they've done this for Alien, and then of course they've done it for a lot of our favorite characters in Marvel like Wolverine, Deadpool, Elektra. Yeah, let me know down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. I told y'all Casey Jones was getting his own series, and now we can finally talk about it. So let's do it in this review for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Casey Jones #1. Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Casey Jones #1. This is a new book from IDW, written by Alex Pagnadel, with art by Amanke Nawalpan, Luis Antonio Delgado on colors, letters by Darren Robinson. In this book, spinning out directly from the pages of TMNT, Casey Jones gets his first miniseries in over 30 years. Casey Jones was shot by D.A. Hale. He's awake and he's got a chance at life. Instead of taking things slow and smelling the flowers, he's jumping headfirst into the action. Casey's hitting the streets and doing everything he can to protect the people of New York City, but those closest to him thinks he's pushing it too hard. April O'Neil and the Turtles, especially Casey's closest friend Raphael, are concerned things are only going to get worse as a new strain of mutagen starts changing the shape of New York City, and a brand new villain threatens everything in Casey's life. Uh, this was a very, very exciting book. I really enjoyed it. I read this a while back, and then I reread it for the review. Uh, if you, if you haven't read the main TMNT story, Casey's been through a lot. And I think Pac really captures that the despair and kind of the anxiety and all the, like, after you go through something very traumatic, there's still a lot of things you got to deal with emotionally and physically, of course. And I think Alex Paglido really captures all that emotion that is coming with Casey Jones. Now, Wilpin does such a good job bringing this story to life. The art is dark, it's gritty, like you really feel like there's the facial expressions on Jones's face, and then of course this new threat emerging, right? This also is kind of a little bit of a follow to the Mutant Nation book because it really focuses a lot on those that New York City has kind of left behind the mutants, kind of living on their own, having to watch out for each other. So it really brings all that to the forefront. And then of course Casey Jones, like the hockey mask, the battle gear, the bat, the hockey stick, like it all really works. So not only does this look great aesthetically, but it also delivers and the emotional level, and then of course just on the hype level of like what's going to happen with Casey Jones next. What is this looming threat that feels like it's full of like bloodlust? How will Casey deal with everything that's happening in the fallout of not only the Teen and Tim and T book, but also the Mutant Nation book as it wrapped up? So yeah, highly encourage you to check this out. Uh, I really I really like that Casey Jones is finally getting kind of his due. Like he's always been a very cool character in my opinion. So I'm glad that he's getting his own series after so long. All right, let's go take a look at some of the variant covers and then we'll wrap up the video. Okay, this one does not have too many variant covers, but we're gonna take a look at them anyways because I feel like people really enjoy just looking at variant. We love variant covers. This is the main cover by Nawalpan. Then here we have this black and white cover by Danny Earls. This is a 1 in 25 ratio. There should also be a regular Danny Earls cover because I've seen it before. This is a 1 in 50 ratio by Mike Henderson. And then we have this is just probably the regular variant cover by Danny Earls, which is the color version of what we saw earlier. The blank cover, of course, so you can get a little bit of maybe a sketch or something at your local convention. Which I love that they use like the green from the turtles in the logo. That's a lot of fun. This is a really cool New York Comic Con exclusive by Nawalpan, who's the main artist on this. This one might be some that might need to ask somebody to pick this up for me. If you're going to New York Comic Con, let's chat. And then I love the homage here to Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman on the streets, on the street signs. And then we're back to the main cover. So let's wrap up this video. Well, there you have it. That is TMNT Casey Jones #1. If you have picked it up, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, everyone, and stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Giddy up, partner, because we are heading to the Wild West to check in with the Cowboys of Mu Mesa in this video. Let's talk about it. Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Oni Press's Wild West Cowboys of Mu Mesa #1. This is another entry into the Nacelle universe over at Oni Press. Very interesting. This is one of the properties I actually did not really remember before checking it out, but I've enjoyed, Biker Mice from Mars was pretty fun, and all the other stuff like the one about the insects. I forget all the names because these are so many throwback properties, but these are great. These are a lot of fun. And I figure I would at least have to check out the first one, especially because of the creative team. So let's talk about that. We have writer Matt Hodson with art by Juan Gideon, colors by Carlos Cabrera, and letters by Jeff Powell. A plethora of covers that we'll check out later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. In this issue, the Wild West is about to get even wilder. Based on the classic animated series and the red hot line of toy collectibles, the Cowboys of Mu Mesa are back and now set to ride towards an all-new showdown on the frontier from red hot writer Matt Hodson, who's worked on things like Power Rangers The Return, and blockbuster artist Juan Gideon, last seen on the Jurassic League over at DC Comics, before he takes the badge right into the lawless border of town of Mu Mesa, as we meet Marshall Mu Montana and his earliest adventure in a time gripped by fear and uncertainty. Disorder pervades in the desert, and its citizens have started to go missing, including Mu's former mentor, the respected Sheriff Mary Quine. With shadows growing across the Mesa, Mu must navigate old grudges, new alliances, and the conspiracy that reaches deep into the heart of Mesa's past. bringing together the nostalgic charm and the beloved Saturday morning series with pistol slinging New Vision. Follow everyone here, including Moon Montana, Dakota Dude, Calamity Kate, and more into the saga of justice, mystery, and redemption in a world where honor wears a hat and rides a steed. This is Moon Mesa like you've never seen it before. So saddle up. Interesting that literal cows are riding around on horses. That's one thing you never question, I guess, when you're a child. So this issue is first in the 4 issue limited series, and it will act as the origin story. So this all takes place before the story you may already be familiar with. Before Moo officially takes the badge, it introduces Cowtown and the mystery of these citizens going missing. The the NASA verse is being built to revive all these classic animated series and toy lines. And this is going to be one of the flagship titles, right? So that's what they wanted to go with this early prequel comic origin approach. I think the issue itself delivers. It's really fun. Like, it is very goofy and silly in a lot of places, but then it's kind of serious when it's got to get down to business. I just really enjoyed how they really very quickly, even if you don't remember or you know these characters, you kind of very quickly get to know them just from all the stuff. Now you don't get to meet everyone yet, all the supporting characters, all the cowboys, which I'll tell you what cow stands for in a second. We do have, I did find that out while I was doing research for this video, but it's fun to see, you know, the origin and the mentorship of the previous generation of cowboys in the town. A little bit of an exploration of how the comet and everything caused these mutated animals and then its effects going forward. And then, of course, just kind of like reliving and reinventing, refocusing that nostalgia, right, for longtime readers, but also including new readers. So, yeah, this is a lot of fun. I think Gideon does such a good job of like making these characters just very likable, very cool designs, approachable. Like Moo has like this haircut that is just like what is happening, but it's really cool. A lot of very cool designs for all of them, you know, whether it's the Sheriff Terrible or like some of the other characters. Like there's even somebody that shows up in kind of like this armor. I don't want to give away too much of the story, but yeah, it's so much fun to see these anthropomorphized animals, you know, kind of living and making up this world. So all right. Yeah, so if you missed the original series from 1992, you can come here and check this out and relive some of those glory days. I did find out the COW acronym is Code of the West, which is referenced to it's referenced in this issue as well. That's really fun. And then, of course, you know, seeing how this fits into the larger universe, I feel like there's got to be some kind of crossover at some point where they do like their kind of Secret Wars style event where you kind of have all these different properties in the Nacelle universe collapse and come together. So yeah, I think that's really fun. I like that a lot. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the variant covers and then we'll wrap up this video. Alrighty, so here we have the main cover by Juan Gideon, the artist on the main artist on the series. Then we have this really cool Andrew Crank variant. This looks to be just a regular variant, no ratio, no incentive, or anything like that. The Joe Palmer variant as well. Hopefully, your shop is getting some of these. I really like the design of these, like very, everything's kind of very square. Now, you know, it's not a. Then we have this cover by Gavin Smith, which is like the handbook classified variant. That's really fun. The blank cover, of course, so you can get a sketch at a convention. And we have some foils. This is a Joe Palmer foil that we saw that earlier. Juan Guidion, which will be part of the connecting. So the main cover is actually connecting. As you can see, there's another horn here. So we'll probably see that on the second issue. We have the 1 in 20 variant by Patrick Spaziante. And then we have a 1 in 50 black and white of Andrew Crank's art, and then back to the main cover. So yeah, I guess this one's also connecting because we can see the horn here on the side, and we can see some saddles or maybe a boot or something here on the side as well. Very cool stuff. So let's wrap up this video. All right. Well, there you have it. That is Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa. I hope I'm saying that right. Sometimes with the puns, like with the pun names, I'm not really sure. Like, there's a character named Mary, but like I don't know how much emphasis I'm supposed to put on the mare part because that is a female horse. So yeah. Either way, let me know if you're familiar with this property. Let me know what you thought about this comic book. If you're new to these cowboys, let me know, partner. What do you think about the new universe? As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye. Let's travel to the world of Magic the Gathering for this next comic book adventure. Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Magic the Gathering Untold Stories Elspeth #1. This is a new book from Dark Horse Comics, written by Dan Waters, with art by Owen Gianni, colors by Hilary Jenkins, and letters by Clem Cowles. We have a plethora of covers, which we'll take a look at later on in the video. It's really cool to see a collaboration here between Wizards of the Coast, Magic the Gathering, and Dark Horse Comics, bringing some really cool stuff to the pages, kind of starting a new era of these Magic the Gathering comics. It's a very popular time for Magic the Gathering as a game, of course. They are dipping into the comic book world on multiple fronts, including their new partnership with the Marvel stuff that's coming out pretty soon. But this is about one of the more iconic characters. Now, I'm not very well versed on Magic, but I did a little bit of research about the things you should know about Elspeth before we get into the story. So, Elspeth, who is known as Elspeth Tyrell, is it's a planeswalker from the Magic the Gathering universe. She's aligned with White Mana normally. Her moral center is around duty, protection, community, and defending the innocent. She was born on a plane that was ravaged by Phyrexians, and as a child, she was captured by them, tortured. Her spark eventually ignited during this traumatic period, allowing her to planeswalk. Um, she arrived at Theros among some other planes, became tied to the gods there, especially Heliod, who will come back in this little summary, until there was a conflict over the divine weapon she carried. She became his champion then. She's died. She's gone to the underworld. She had to deal with very difficult ordeals, including reliving some trauma. More recently, in Theros Beyond Death, she becomes Elspeth's son's nemesis, which is a dramatic transformation. The Shadow Spear, the claim that Heliod's spear is a fake, her battling gods, and so forth. She's a tragic, heroic figure, resonant to the fans. A lot of themes of duty and guilt, life and death, betrayal and redemption. So yeah, Elspeth, very very important character when it comes to Magic the Gathering. So we now have a 4-issue miniseries from Dark Horse in collaboration with Wizards of the Coast, which I think the creative team is amazing. Dan Waters, I mean, he's doing some really cool stuff, including some stuff over at DC. Nightwing, which is one of my favorite comics. Homesick Pilots, Cyberpunk on the franchise as well. So very much all over the place. Dan Waters really can adapt to pretty much any specific book that you might need. And then Owen Gianni, who's most known for Manifest Destiny and Rat Queens. So, but what is going on in this first issue? Let's take a look at the quick synopsis here. The Elspeth is dead, but her story is not over yet. The sun god Heliod, having grown envious of his champion, struck her down to the underworld. There she is forced to relive the worst moments of her life for all eternity. But Elspeth does not submit to despair. She emerges from each conflict greater hero than before. And for a great hero like Elspeth, what is death but another challenge to overcome? This is an unpublished story of the Theros Beyond Death, finally brought to life. So very very cool. So it looks like this is something that it's already kind of part of the Magic the Gathering lore. We're just finally expanding on this untold story. So um These Zeros Beyond Death stories were released in 2020 as they kind of introduced this story arc where Elspeth had to contend with the gods, shadows, and ultimately died or was killed by Heliod. So that's kind of where this all fits in. And I really enjoy this because first of all, the comic, it gives you everything that you need to know about that, right? You get to meet Heliod, you get to meet some of the other gods, and then you also get to relive along with Elspeth or live for the first time if you're a new reader some of those more tragic moments as she's being tortured in the underworld. But of course, I love the idea that as we kind of keep going through this, the trauma and reliving it, these moments, Elspeth just summons her power to kind of get out of that, and now she has a newfound resolve in this world. So it's very very cool. Also, this is the first time that Dark Horse and Wizards of the Coast are publishing new comic books on their own there with Magic, which I think before they used to come out through Boom Studios, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a new partnership which looks to bode very well for both sides. I think Gianni's art is really cool. I love the stylized art for the gods. The way that they're kind of brought to life. A lot of these characters are very iconic. I think Elspeth design is really cool. There's a lot of details in there. I haven't looked at her Planeswalker card, so maybe I'll look that up when we check out the covers. But it's very cool just to see how they have adapted this character, this world kind of brought to life in the pages of these comic books. There's a lot of repetition of different panels, which lead to that effect of reliving this cycle over and over. And I think Dan Waters is very familiar with those themes of life and death and sacrifice. You can see that a lot in multiple things during his work. So yeah, I very much, although I'm not steeped in the lore of Magic, this was just a fun, cool story to read because I'm familiar with the tropes of an individual against the gods, betrayed by them. So it's all very much like this Greek mythology, but now kind of through the lens of Magic the Gathering, which I think that makes that very cool. So, all right, let's go check out some of the variant covers and some of the illustration that we have for Elspeth. Maybe I'll pull up her card as well, see if we can see that as well. Before we take a look at some of the covers, here is Elspeth Sun's Champion. This is probably the card that it's most closely to the design that you see in the comic book. You'll see that in the cover, which is really cool. Um, I don't normally play white when I do play Magic, so it's interesting to see a character from that. So, all right, now let's go check out the variant covers for this issue. All right, so here we have. There's not a lot of variant covers, but as you can see, this is the main cover, very similar to the card design that we just saw. We do have this other cover by Vincento Riccardi. Very cool, a lot more painterly, a lot more colors. And then you can see a little, this is a little bit more of a spoilery cover. So I won't go into details as to how this is a spoiler, but keep that in mind. And then we have a more, almost more realistic by Anna Stenbauer. So yeah, very cool covers for this book, which I really, really enjoyed. So let's wrap up this video now. All right. Well, there you have it. This is kind of one of my first forays into Magic the Gathering. I've checked out some of the other comics before, but this one felt really accessible, felt really cool, and very well put together with a creative team that I can really get behind. So, highly, highly recommend you check this out. It's only a 4-issue miniseries. So, if you don't want to read it now, you can definitely check out the collected edition. But highly recommend you check it out because there's some really cool variants that you may want to pick up at the comic shop. If you have read this or picked it up, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. And of course, stay tuned because we have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye. Let's follow Ilyana Rasputin, aka Magic, in one of our first ongoing series. This is a review for Magic Volume 1. Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Magic Volume 1 Unleashed. This collection was released pretty much very close to me releasing this video whenever you may be watching it. This is written by Ashley Allen, who has been really doing some little Magic one shots here and there, including some stuff in the Marvel Zombies Black, White, and Blood, the Blood Hunt tie-in. This is penciled by Herman Peralta, who's worked on Loki and Black Panther in the past. And it's a very, very cool book. I love this series. I did a review for this first issue when it dropped, but I knew that this was going to read a lot better in a collected format. I think that's the way that I'm kind of shifting for some of these X-Men series. I'm working on another video that'll go more into detail for that. So this trade paperback collects Magic 2025 issues 1 through 5, which chronicles Ilyana Rasputin, aka Magic's, embarking on her first ongoing solo series. She wields the Solar Sword and magical powers to hunt demons threatening mutant kind. This story spans from ancient forces beneath the Alaskan ice through Tokyo's underground to an apprenticeship with a mysterious sorceress teen named Cal. Along the way, Magic will confront enigmatic demon leader Liminal while wrestling with her darker impulses, all while ally Danny Moonstar is by her side. So, yeah, Magic's alternate persona is placed very heavily into this book as well. I also really like that the book focuses a lot on magic, her like magic, using magic, which is not something that you normally see outside of her using teleportation and the soul sword. So it's really, really cool. I like that this is Magic first kind of proper solo series, so that's cool. I There's a lot of really cool variants. I think Magic is a great character for that as well. And then just the idea of the incantations and the heavy mythology that really taps into Magic's origins and her time in Limbo and everything that she's done and learned from there. Introducing a new little apprentice, Cal, who's hinting at maybe Magic can do a little bit more to get back to mutant kind and other people that wield magic to help them protect themselves. And then, of course, kind of traveling all over the globe, right? From Alaska to Tokyo to South America. We get to see Danny Moonstar come back. That's really cool. And then introducing this new character of Liminal, this new bad guy, really confronting Magic to balance between the dark and the light side. It's very, very cool. So there's a lot of action in this book, some great fights. I think that the art team really focuses on a visual feast when it comes to not just showing Ilyana's power and the magic, but also bringing Ilyana to different realms, right? Not just Limbo, but also her own mind realm, the astral plane. Like all these things kind of play into the story very well. It's dark, it's gritty, it's very much brooding, but also it's very introspective for Ileana and how she handles her relationships with this, not only with Cal, a new person, but also confronting some issues that she might have from the past with Danny, which is great because I love the New Mutants. They're kind of my favorite group in the X-Men. So yeah, I really recommend this. If you're a fan of Magic, the character, or Magic the art, you're gonna want to read this. I think it's a great series, and it reads really well as a collected edition. I really love how they are bringing all this into the world of the X-Men, but it's still all kind of separate. Like you don't need to be reading the main X-Men title for this one to kind of make sense. So highly recommend that. If you have read this book, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. Let me know what do you think of the new villain Liminal and how you think that's gonna play out. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, leave us a comment, hit that like button, and stay tuned because we have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye. Can Batman escape this building? We're going to talk about that in this video for Batman Dark Patterns issues 4 through 6. Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we're going to be doing a review for Batman Dark Patterns issues 4 through 6. This is the Voice of the Tower storyline. This is part of the ongoing series for Batman Dark Patterns. We have a review for the first 3 issues, which they make up the first arc. And each one of these 3 issue arcs we're going to do separate videos for. So as I catch up, this is written by Dan Waters with art by Hayden Sherman, colors by Triona Farrell. In this series, or in this arc, you will see a detective style series in which we explore Batman's early career. It's structured as four different mysteries, and this is the second one. The Cape Crusader must escape from this building and figure out how to save all the people living in here while trying to also stop the new menace. This is a really cool story. I like the idea that it feels like the raid. It feels like Judge Dredd, where our protagonist has to go into this building that is kind of outside of the law, and it's really its own little environment, and they have to escape alive while trying to confront this villain. So I really enjoy that setup. I really enjoy the framing device. Now, of course, this is a Batman story, so it's very, very different. I think that Hayden Sherman does some incredible stuff when it comes to some of the characters that we see, also playing around with the layout of the building and Batman trying to do, moving from floor to floor, trying to escape, trying to take down bad guys, also protecting the individuals that live in here, like the innocent people that live in this building. I really like this format. I like the idea that these four cases are a big part of Bruce's life, but they're still connected. There's still a thread from arc to arc, which I can't see how that kind of plays out. So yeah, I really, really like that. I like the idea of stripping down Batman down to its core of a detective story, which is highly atmospheric, highly having to do with his environment. I feel like not enough people are picking up this book, which is insane because I've said it since I started reading this. This might be the best, like pound for pound Batman book on the shelves. So highly recommend you check this out. I love the idea that we focus a lot more on Batman's detective side. He's got to solve this mystery. Who is behind everything that's going on in this building, right? All right. I'm gonna get a little bit into what's going on in each issue, a little bit of the synopsis too. So there might be some spoilers. It's only three issues, but in the first one, Batman confronts the crisis in this tower, where there are voices that are kind of telling people what's going on and kind of controlling everyone inside. Hostages and police standoff, and this haunting voice that is guiding all the occupants of the building. It really feels very much like a horror, like at least a horror adjacent mission for Batman. And then in the next issue, as Batman investigates this building, we realize that the voices from Scarface, which is the ventriloquist puppet, if you're not familiar, uh, eerily echoing through the building. A host of these masked vigilant or masked residents of the building, they follow Scarface's orders, and Scarface has turned himself pretty much into this building. Now, in the last issue, Batman figures out exactly what's going on and untangles all the plot threads that have been set up in the first two issues, realizing who really is behind all this. So, and how the spirit of Scarface kind of lives on in this building. It's really cool. Like I said, I love exploring. Just first of all, exploring the underbelly of Gotham, right? The inequity of the system that society has placed on Gotham, the class warfare of like this building is for those that really have nowhere else to go. It's a condemned building. It's like really like the projects of Gotham City. It's abandoned, but that abandonment leads to somebody being able to take advantage of this. And then, of course, there's a lot of psychological suspense because you don't know what's going on. Uh, because of the hints at a horror thing, it almost feels like it could be a supernatural story. But in the end, there's always a solution that Batman will find for that. There's a little bit of body horror, a little bit of action, a little bit of punching bad guys in the face, which I think is always something you want in a Batman book. So yeah, I love the tone of the series. I love the art. I think Hayden Sherman is just doing some outstanding work. It really evokes to me like some of the Denny O'Neil stuff from the 70s, because it's very atmospheric, it's very driven by the character, it's very gritty, right? So it's really, really cool. I love this story and I love the way that it's unfolding. So I actually can't wait to finish this video so that I can go in and continue reading, because I'm doing these three at a time so that I really only focus on the stories that I'm talking about. So, highly recommend you check this out. This is going to be, I believe, a 12 issue series. So, The Voice of the Tower completes the first half of the book. So, yeah, we're going to talk more about this. So, stay tuned for that. Let me know, what do you think of this Batman series, or which one do you think is the best Batman series in the shelves right now? I think DC's got a lot of really cool stuff going on, whether it's from the main continuity, the Absolute Universe, some of the Elseworld stuff, or even just miniseries like Batman Dark Patterns. Let me know, what do you think of Hayden Sherman's art when compared to some of the other artists? Or let me know some of your favorite Batman artists down in the comments, whether they are contemporary or maybe somebody from the past stories. As always, make sure to share, like, subscribe, leave us a comment, and stay tuned, because we will have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, movie reviews, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thank you for watching, everyone. Bye bye.